Hi there, I'm your state representative, David Rowe. I'm glad I could join you today to talk about how laws are made in Pennsylvania. I was elected by the voters in our area to serve in the Pennsylvania House of Representatives, the oldest elected legislative body in our country. The 203 members of the House meet in Harrisburg to make the laws that govern our state. It's my job as your representative to help write those laws and vote for those I feel are best for our people, our district, and Pennsylvania as a whole. In order to explain the process of lawmaking in Harrisburg, our House staff prepared the following short program called Making Laws in Pennsylvania. I hope you enjoy the presentation.
Hi, welcome to Harrisburg, the state capital of Pennsylvania. I'm Flash, the firefly. Did you know that the firefly is the official insect of Pennsylvania? That's your state capital down there. Your state legislators make laws in that building. They even decide how many days that you go to school. Come on, let's check it out. Let me see now. Where should we start? Actually, this is as good a place as any. You see, laws start with people, people's ideas. When someone gets an idea for a law, they give it to their representative. Then the lawmaker, that's another word for representative, decides if it's a good idea and if the law is really needed. If so, the idea is brought here to the Legislative Reference Bureau, where lawyers make it into a bill. A bill is an idea for a new law put down on paper. A properly written bill looks like this. The representative who came up with the idea will take the bill to other representatives to get their support for the idea. They often ask them to sign the bill, proving their support. When the bill is formally introduced, it's handed to a clerk on the floor of the House of Representatives and given a number. The Speaker decides which committee will work on the bill. More about committees in a minute. Anyway, once the bill is given a number and sent to a committee, it's officially printed and copied so that lawmakers, staff members, and others can review it. Sometimes people come to the Capitol to tell the legislators that they are for or against certain bills. This is called lobbying, whether it's done by one person or groups of people. Lobbyists give their opinions on bills and try to convince lawmakers to vote for or against the idea. Another important stage in the lawmaking process is when the bill is studied by a legislative committee. This is a group of 24 or more lawmakers that discuss the bill, then decide if it should move on to the floor of the House of Representatives to be voted on by all the representatives. An example is the Transportation Committee, where lawmakers consider bills about roads, highways, railroads, and laws which affect the millions of car and truck drivers in the state. The largest committee, the House Appropriations Committee, has 32 members. It helps decide how the state should spend the tax money it receives from the people of Pennsylvania. That's a very popular committee. Then there's the Education Committee, which looks at bills that affect schools, teachers, and students from kindergarten through college. With the help of staff and others, members of these committees study the bills and sometimes hold public hearings on them. Hearings are special meetings which allow people who know a lot about an issue or who have very strong feelings about the bill to talk to the committee members and give them information and opinions about the bill. During committee meetings, representatives talk about the bill and discuss whether it is a good or bad idea. They can even make changes, called amendments, to the bill. Whenever a bill is approved by its committee, it is put on a special list called the House Calendar, which looks like this. Bills must be listed on 3 different days before all the members of the House can vote on them. This gives everyone a chance to become familiar with the bill. Finally, it's time for all 203 members of the House to debate, or make their arguments, why they like or do not like the bill. Any member of the House can suggest changes, also called amendments, to the bill. As in the committee process, a majority of members, which means more than half of the members who are present, can join together to approve any amendments. After all the changes have been made and all the opinions and arguments are shared, it's time to vote on the bill. The Speaker says,
"Members will proceed to vote. Have all the members voted? The clerk will record the vote."
Representatives use an electronic voting system. They each have a red and green button on their desks. They must either push the green button to vote yay or yes, or the red button to vote nay or no. There is no other choice. The result of the vote can be seen on those electronic voting boards on the walls of the House chamber. If the bill passes the House, it goes to the Senate, which uses an almost identical process. It first goes to a committee, then, if it passes, it moves to the floor of the Senate, where all 50 senators vote. The only difference is that senators don't vote by pushing buttons, but by saying aye, which means yes, or no.
Ward, aye. White, aye.
If a bill is changed after the Senate passes it, it must go back to the House to make sure the House agrees with the changes. If not, House and Senate members may have to meet and resolve the differences in what's called a conference committee. In any case, a bill must be passed in the same form by the House and Senate before it goes to the governor for his signature. When the bill finally makes it to the governor, he can sign it or veto it. If the governor signs the bill, it becomes part of Pennsylvania law. If the governor rejects or vetoes the bill, the House and Senate could still make it into law if they can get 2/3 of their members to overturn the governor's decision. In the House, that would amount to 136 votes. In the Senate, 34 votes are necessary to override the governor's veto. Every law, whether it increases the speed limit to 65 miles per hour, increases punishment for criminals, or decides how many days a year you have to go to school, must go through this same process. At times, this lawmaking business may seem a little complicated. This democratic process is awesome. We think it's the best type of government there is. Well, I sure had fun meeting you today. I hope you were interested in how our government, formed by the people of Pennsylvania, operates. And I hope you understand the lawmaking process a little bit better now. If you have any questions, be sure to ask your teachers. They'll be glad to help. Remember, you'll be a voter someday. Who knows? You might decide to run for office and become a state representative, maybe even Speaker of the House. For now, I'm Flash the Firefly saying so long.
Thanks for your interest in the legislative process. I'm Representative David Rowe. This was, of course, a simplified version of what can be a long and complicated procedure. I hope that this look at how laws are made will encourage you to become a participant in the political process. And when you're old enough, register to vote. If your group has any questions about the program you've seen, please contact me. We'll show you the information on your screen in a moment. Thanks for watching.